Am I the asshole? For telling my half-sister that I don't want to have anything to do with her. Okay, so my parents divorced almost 11 years ago and my mom remarried in a few months since she was pregnant and gave birth to my half-sister. So the thing is, I've never wanted anything to do with my mom's new family for a bunch of reasons, so I just lived with my dad and didn't have much contact with them. So last week my mom for some reason decided that it's a priority for me to have a relationship with my half-sister and basically just dropped her off at me and my dad's home. She refused to come pick her up until later in the evening, so I was basically forced to watch her for the evening. I decided that it shouldn't be too big of an issue, throw on some TV for her and do my own thing in the meantime. She however decided it was a necessity that I come play with her, and after a ton of pestering I told her I don't want to do anything with you, I'm just watching you till your mom gets back home. So your dad and stepmother were away on a weekend trip, and your mother left you alone to look after a child you have nothing to do with. WTF? Yeah, you could have been kinder to the child, but still you don't have any moral obligation to have a relationship with her. And especially not like this, where she's abandoned with you. Next time call the police and get them to return the child to her mother. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I feel bad for your sister, but this is not two sisters spend time together but free babysitter for your mother. You need to tell your father about this so he can make sure it doesn't happen again. I think your mother might lie to this sister about you want to spend time with her and very happy to have her with you. Info: where was your dad in all of this? Info: how old are you? Did she just drop her daughter off without permission from your father? Not the asshole. Did you tell your dad? Super irresponsible and reckless of your mother to do that when your dad and stepmom were gone the whole weekend. Anything could have happened. She could have choked on food or gotten injured somehow. I would tell her next time she drops her kid off without you and your dad agreeing that you will call the police for child abandonment. Call the police for child abandonment or your mom will do it every time she wants because you're a free sitter. Not the asshole. Looks like mom is looking for a new babysitter, and if she can force a relationship between you two she'll have one. Text mom that next time she pulls that you're calling police for child abandonment because you won't be responsible for her daughter. She may be your mother's daughter, that doesn't mean the feelings of having a sister are there. Info: how old are you? Do you have a license? Have access to a car? Was there no way to take your half-sister and bring her home? Why didn't you call your dad and ask him for help? Text your mother that if she tries that again, you'll be contacting CPS and police for child abandonment, then save all texts of abuse that are sure to be incoming as evidence. When someone abandons a child on your doorstep, you call the cops. It's not the kid's fault, but also not the asshole. You should have called the police instead. If this happens again, call the police for child abandonment. You should definitely not have said to your half-sister that you do not want to have anything to do with her. That was nasty, and you actually do, in my opinion, owe your half-sister an apology. But the real laugh here is your mother for trying to force the issue. And your mother just abandoning your half-sister with you is ridiculous, smacks of willful neglect, and put both of you in a very uncomfortable and problematic position. Nata generally-ish but asshole 100 for saying that to a 10-year-old's face. You mum used you for free babysitting. I would never open the door again if she comes unannounced and change the lock if she has a key. I hope your father does something about it. Not the asshole. But what were the reactions from child and mother to this? Did they get the message? You're the asshole. Your 1-2 sister sounds like a kid, not an adult. What you said was wrong and hurtful. Yell at the right person. Your mother is also an asshole for not respecting your boundaries. I think if you told an 11-year-old girl you wanted nothing to do with her, you're the asshole. It's not her fault and you're blaming her on some level. You're not the asshole for not wanting to babysit against your will. ETA what your mom did was extremely shitty, immature and straight up awful parenting bordering on neglect. However, yeah, you are also the asshole because it's a fucking kid, dude. Imagine being dropped off like that around someone you aren't close with and they tell you they want nothing to do with you. It's not like she really had a choice to be there, and again she's a child. Not the asshole, she can't just come and force a relationship between you and your half-sister. And if she wants a free babysitter, she can look elsewhere. One day, out of nowhere, she decides to be your mother and it's to have you babysit your half-sister. Mother dearest needs a reality check. Next time, call the police for child abandonment. You can't be responsible for her child. Your mom didn't decide she wants you to have a relationship with your half-sister. Suddenly she decided she wanted free childcare and a responsibility-free day. Not the asshole, however, this anger and emotional coldness is misdirected. I understand the feeling toward your mother. Anybody would be hurt after experiencing what felt like an abandonment for a new, better family. My mom did something very similar. But please, try your hardest not to attach these feelings to your sibling. She doesn't deserve to pay for your mother's mistakes, and she could likely use your support growing up. Your mum is the but your sister is innocent and living with a really shitty mum from the sounds of it. None of this is her fault, she needs some compassion. ESH except half-sister. I don't understand how everyone is saying not the asshole. The circumstances of this situation has nothing to do with the 10-year-old. Chances are your mom fed her some story about how she should spend more time with her older sister, and you and your dad and stepmom were the only one who didn't know about this. She's just caught in the middle of this, and you taking out your frustrations on her is just you trying to soothe your own frustrations with your mom, and creating new abandonment issues in the kid. You should have told your mother if they left her there you'd call the police on them for abandonment. I'd have called the police. Yes, hello, my biological mother, whom I have no contact with, just dropped off a minor on my steps and is refusing to collect her. I have never met this child before and I'm not aware of any underlying medical condition or allergies, and I don't feel comfortable or safe having her around. Please help. Not the asshole. It was not a nice thing to say to a child, but this particular child is a stranger to you. Just make sure that they remain a stranger for the rest of your life, because there is no taking this back. Try to be calm and remember it's not her fault. You're the asshole. Yes, your mom is wrong for leaving the child, but did you really need to tell a child I want nothing to do with you? That child didn't ask to be born. Kindness wouldn't hurt you at all. Your beef is with your mom, not your half-sibling. Your mom's an for just dumping her on you. She should have gotten a babysitter. Still, she's just a kid. You could have been nicer to her over something that she had literally no control over. I'm abstaining from a vote because it's just too iffy, but your mom is 100 and You should definitely talk to your dad about this though, because I highly doubt he'd appreciate his ex dumping her daughter at his house without a word. Not the asshole. Next time, call the police and tell them that your mother abandoned her daughter with you when you're not remotely qualified to take care of children. Not the asshole. Based on context, it sound like your mom divorce, married the person she cheat on, and birth your stepsister, since she tended line up by the year. I guess you have some resentment issue, and your mom don't see herself as wrong and suddenly decide to push her daughter to you. Best thing to do is tell your dad, and see if he can do anything like this from happen again. ESH. Absolutely none of that stuff should have been dropped on your plate, but telling a child I don't want anything to do with you is a nah move. And not justified. It's not the kid's fault. Save your barbs for the people who deserve them. Not the asshole. Your mother is forcing you to be a babysitter against your will, not out of any necessity on her part, but to reinforce a fantasy of a happy family which she values more than your own well-being. Whilst I think you're not the asshole, I feel so sad for your sister. I lost my sister last year. Never occurred to me to call her a half-sister. Genuinely didn't love her any less than my brother that I shared 2 parents with.